After more than 3 years of waiting, 2 Santa Clarita families will get some closure tomorrow.
This week, the Cougars will return home to face off against Grossmont at 7 p.m. at Cougar Stadium.
But as COC students may have noticed in the Honor Grove earlier this week,
develop people who build better tomorrows.
This is Kelly Price reporting from Vista Valencia for COC News.
How will this affect the rest of the job market?
Welcome to Canyons News.
Live from Mentry Hall, with news from around the Santa Clarita Valley. This is Canyons News.
Tonight on Canyons News, rescue crews are still on the search for a missing paddleboarder out of Castaic Lake.
And with drier weather approaching, learn how you can prepare for a wildfire.
They finished their homework and now it's time for the highlight reel. Local high school graduates are crossing the stage, and one ceremony honored a student's memory. Good evening, I'm Julianne Lena.
And I'm Dakota Searcy. We begin tonight with the search continuing for a man believed to be the paddleboarder who went missing at Castaic Lake. The initial incident happened just after noon on Sunday. Emergency crews responded to the lower lagoon for a water rescue after reports of an overturned paddleboard. One of the paddleboarders was an unidentified woman who made it safely to shore. The man still has not been found, and what is now a recovery effort continues for the 4th day. On Monday, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department issued a missing person bulletin for 61-year-old Esperidion Philip Camez. Detectives are asking anyone with information to contact the department's Homicide Bureau.
A Plum Canyon resident watched a firework explode just steps from her yard. What she saw wasn't a show, but what she feels is a threat. Now arrests are following the flash. In the blink of an eye, a sudden explosion turned a quiet Plum Canyon night into chaos. And it happened just steps away from Lily Chang's backyard.
I was actually sitting here watching TV, and all of a sudden, I just heard this really, really loud explosion. It was so loud, I actually feel the window vibrate. So I immediately went outside, and so I saw the fire.
For residents like Lily, the danger is no longer just about noise. It's about safety. Years of fireworks in the area feet away from her backyard have sparked brush fires, shaken homes, and pushed families to their limit.
And I'm not talking about smoke bombs and Piccolo Petes. I'm talking about mortars that are launched off at 1 a.m. and the explosions are loud enough to wake every household in the community.
What began as a fireworks stunt has now exploded into felony charges. One teen is out with citation, and another still behind bars at the SUV Sheriff's Station, held on $75,000 bail. Detectives were led straight to Valencia High, where deputies arrested a 17-year-old. Not long after, 18-year-old Cameron Tucker was in cuffs. Tucker did say sorry, but for Chang, the damage was already done.
And I wanted to apologize. I was the one that lit off that pretty big firework, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry that I...
Well, it's a little late, you know, that. Those kids, what they're doing, I mean, they can just basically burn down this whole actually the entire Santa Clarita. Look, the Palisade fire.
They're illegal for a reason. You can now not only hurt yourself, but you can hurt someone else. You can start a fire that could potentially endanger people's lives in homes.
Binoculars in hand, Lily scans the hills from her balcony, doing her best to protect her community so disaster doesn't strike again.
Wildfires are a familiar part of life here, but recent blazes have been a wake-up call. Knowing how to get ready is more important than ever. Here's Canyons News reporter Emily Veramontes with more.
Fires are no surprise to residents in Southern California. After the recent Palisades, Eaton, and Hughes fires, the threat has never felt more real.
They evacuated us pretty quickly because in past times when there were fires around us, we weren't like as rushed out, but since it was like less than 100 yards away from us, yeah, I felt pretty shaken up.
With fire fuel like this, it can be easy for individuals to be vulnerable to fires. So what can you do to prepare?
So you go by any Los Angeles County fire station, and you can get a guide to defensible space around your home. to help prepare for brush season. And then we also have, you can get any fire station ready, set, go. That you can go, and this will give you tips and procedures to get ready for fire season.
I mean, I only had a backpack, but because like some of my family members weren't at home at the time, I had to pack for them as well. So it was like very stressful packing for myself and then packing for them as well.
Being ready before disaster strikes can ease the chaos. Experts say preparation is your best defense.
I mean, the only thing we did was like hose down the trees so like it didn't burn like as crucially if it ever hit us, but we were on the other side of the neighborhood, so it didn't affect us too bad.
The Ready, Set, Go guide from LA County Fire helps residents stay organized and calm when seconds count.
It has a form on here where you can put all your emergency contacts, your evacuation, when to go, where to go, and how to get there. Because a lot of times when people are in a stressful situation, they're not always thinking clearly, they're stressed. So if you already have it prepared and you thought of it ahead of time and you have it written down, it'll be muscle memory and you'll be safer that way.
For Canyons News, I'm Emily Viramontes.
Graduation season can be an emotional time for students turning their tassels. Saugus High School ceremony had plenty of emotion as one student's memory was honored and another honored a family member of their own. A single chair, draped with Samuel Grumet's cap and gown, was placed on the field, and a moment of silence was held in his memory. The 17-year-old lacrosse player was struck and killed by a car in Northern California late last year. His family stood in his place and was there to accept the diploma on his behalf. In addition to the friends and family of Saugus graduates, firefighters were in the crowd to support one of their own. 48 firefighters cheered on Bryn Carlon, the daughter of Tony Carlon, who was shot and killed in the 2021 Station 81 shooting. With them was the truck Carlon used during his time with LA County Fire.
In addition to Saugus, College of the Canyons has been hosting ceremonies across the Santa Clarita Valley. Tonight, Heart is on the field. Leah Pastorio is live outside Mentry Hall with more.
Thanks, Julianne. For the past week, COC has been the place to be for high school graduations, and it won't end until Bowman celebrates the class of 2025 tomorrow night. But if you happen to be driving past the college last Friday night, then you know it was West Ranch's turn to shine.
We are here tonight to honor the incredible class of 2025. As 454 Wildcats embark on a new chapter.
It was a night of pure joy and emotion at College of the Canyons Cougar Stadium as the West Ranch High School class of 2025 celebrated a milestone they'll never forget. For many, it was a night filled with laughter, tears, and a reflection, a moment to thank those who made this journey possible.
For me, I think about my freshman self and how far I've come. My own struggles have taught me that too often we judge others on a fragment of their experiences because it's easier than understanding the whole picture, the story behind every face, and the anonymous reasons for who we are. But year after year, we've all grown, discovering new passions like rocket science and basketball, and learning that failure is a recipe for future success, because it truly does matter how many times you get back up.
West Ranch was just one of several Santa Clarita High Schools celebrating this week. Across the valley, stadiums filled with the sounds of cheers, applause, and proud hearts as students from Canyon, Golden Valley, Valencia, Hart, and Saugus High School are also marking this life-changing moment. And as tassels turned and caps filled the sky, one thing was clear. Santa Clarita's class of 2025 leaves behind not just memories, but a legacy of strength, friendship, and endless possibility.
Today, let's celebrate the journey and applaud how far we've come before we go our separate ways and take life's next steps. To the class of 2025, the most goated class of all time, here's to us.
As high school ceremonies wrap up, College of the Canyons is gearing up for its commencement later this week. Reporting from outside Mentry Hall, I'm Leah Pastorio. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Leah. More than 2,000 students are expected to graduate in Friday's ceremony. Here's Brooklyn Stevenson with more on what the future holds for some COC students.
Graduation is coming up. Students will be walking the stage at Cougar Stadium instead of the Honor Grove, which was a common place for the ceremony to be held at. These students will be entering a new life milestone. Many of these graduates are transferring to a four-year university or a specific program to continue their degree. And this is especially the case for Alexis Regino, who's continuing her degree in nursing.
I do plan to transfer to COC's nursing program here, but if I don't luck out with this one, I plan to go to another community college for a nursing degree to save money. And maybe down the line, I plan to get a bachelor's in nursing.
While the time at COC was short for these graduates, during that time there were many accomplishments and regrets. Student Tessa McMahon has her own personal reflections while attending COC.
I would say reaching out and finding out all the resources that are actually available to the students, because there's some things like the ASG Student Computer Lab and then the library, and there's tons of stuff up there and near Mentry that's really awesome, like the art gallery. And you won't realize it's there unless you go out and look and you ask around.
Many other students also wish they took advantage of these resources that COC provides. These have helped students reach their full potential and walk the stage. Whatever these graduates decide to pursue in the future, they deserve nothing but success for their future endeavors. Reporting from Canyons News, I'm Brooklyn Stevenson.
Final season can be an incredibly challenging time for college students' mental health. Here's more on how local students are coping and the resources available on campus.
As we spring into summer, we as students are met with one last academic mountain to climb, finals. And with that climb comes intense stress, stress that can sometimes manifest into much more. This May, for Mental Health Awareness Month, we're looking at how students are navigating this pressure and why prioritizing their mental well-being is so crucial during this time. For many, like our fellow COC student Riley, the end-of-semester crunch takes a significant toll.
You think about your test while you're brushing your teeth. You think about your test on the way to school, the walk to the class. It does give me anxiety, but I've learned a lot of ways to handle it.
Riley's experience resonates across campus. In fact, academic stress is widespread, with 24.4% of students reporting moderate to high anxiety. So, what support is available for students feeling this strain? On both the Valencia and Canyon Country campuses is the Health and Wellness Center, with clinical therapists such as Priscilla Benitez, who are available for all students.
As we near the end of the semester and finals, I find that a lot of students are experiencing anxiety. A lot of students are also experiencing depression, stress, burnout. We provide 6 sessions per semester to students who are enrolled in a 1-unit course.
The Wellness Center provides resources from one-on-one counseling to stress management workshops. While these campus resources are necessary, recognizing the need for support and taking that first step can still be a real hurdle for many students.
It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about mental illness.
I think getting your feelings out there and telling them what you're going through and how they can relate to you, or if they're going through something too, it just makes you feel like you're not alone.
As we wrap up Mental Health Awareness Month, remember that prioritizing your well-being is key. Support is available. For Canyons News, I'm Dakota Searcy.
With summer here, some locals are trading traffic and parking headaches for a stress-free way to head to the beach. Tracy Maroney has the story.
As temperatures soared over the weekend, people hit the beach, and some even ditched their cars for the bus. The beach bus, that is.
The convenience, the price, it's relaxing, and it's a beautiful drive.
About an hour drive down Route 126, the bus drops you off at Ventura Harbor.
But I like it because it's like a different route. It's not just LA. This one is different, a little different.
Once there, you can hit the waves or play in the sand at Harbor Cove Beach, or explore the Channel Islands National Park Visitor Center, or maybe just soak in the scenery and enjoy live music, all without the hassle of driving home.
We drove here because we're going to do the Ventura Wine Walk events. We figure we don't have to drive. We can relax
about drinking and driving and cruise
Safety.
down.
We brought games to play, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, usually in the afternoon the people is tired, so they just get in the bus and they just fell asleep. Yeah.
The City of Santa Clarita's beach bus
rolls out every Saturday and Sunday, now through August 31st. For Canyons News, I'm Tracy Maroney.
Coming up next on Canyons News. Get ready for a mosaic of mystery, drama, and intrigue as we go behind the scenes of a gripping new film. It's golf's longest day, and it was right here in Valencia. We'll take you to the final qualifying for the U.S. Golf Open. Stay tuned. With the semester ending, the Associated Student Government has picked a new president for the 2025-2026 school year. Reporter Christopher Casey spoke to the new ASG president about what her visions are for the college.
A dedicated student leader, an aspiring corporate attorney, and now newly elected College of Duquesne's ASG class president, Amna Fidel, is looking forward to advocating for all students.
It feels amazing. Being able to represent so many students at College of the Canyons and just in our community is amazing.
The ASG is a student-led organization representing the College of the Canyons student body. It voices student opinions on campus issues, allocates funds for clubs, and even provides participants with valuable lessons in leadership.
I want to focus on getting ASG out there and connecting students to us, connecting us to the students.
Her involvement in advocating for undocumented students is one example of her initiative that she is proud of.
Another huge thing that we did was we connected with the Bluebird Resource Program, which was previously known as the Undocumented Student Center. And as a result, we were able to create an undocumented student resolution. So we were able to stand in solidarity with all those undocumented students on campus through our resolution.
But her work isn't limited to campus. She also lends a hand in multiple initiatives, including some that she has created for students outside of COC.
So my idea was called the Golden Book Project, and that's where we can provide students with free books no matter their financial status. And I found it very hard seeing students that wanted a book but couldn't get it because of their financial status. And I believe education should definitely not be like that. Education should be provided to everyone for free.
Fidel believes in demonstrating immense passion for ensuring all students are accounted for on campus.
I'm going to try my absolute best this next year to connect with everyone on my team and be able to work together as an ASG team and connect with as many students as we can.
For Canyons News, I'm Christopher Casey.
As the academic season comes to a close, COC has awarded some students with scholarships. Luke Harris has more on the dinner held to celebrate students.
On Thursday, March 29th, College of the Canyons held their annual scholarship foundation, giving out scholarships to hardworking students. COC has this event to give opportunities to lots of people, making it an easier path to a college education for many.
So every year we host a scholarship reception for any student that has received a scholarship from the foundation. We invite the students, their families, as well as the donors who funded the scholarships in the hopes that they get to meet each other and chat and get to know each other a bit better.
But what does the event mean to the staff?
Actually, this is my favorite event of the year. I love seeing all of the students come together and kind of celebrate an accomplishment of winning a scholarship, and then being able to connect them with the person or the family or the foundation that provided those funds to them. It has resulted in some really meaningful stories.
College of the Canyons holds a scholarship foundation annually, giving out thousands of dollars worth of scholarships to hundreds of students here at the universities.
After getting their dinner, the attendees listen to the speakers as they give their thanks and props to the foundation, celebrating another successful celebration. For Canyons News, I'm Luke Harris.
Behind the pages of a good book, the Santa Clarita Public Library is playing an increasingly crucial role in our community. Forget dusty shelves. The modern public library is a dynamic hub of innovation and connecting people.
Every Saturday, Santa Clarita car lovers wake up bright and early at 6:30 a.m. to come to Cars and Coffee, a local car meetup at the McDonald's parking lot on the corner of Valencia Boulevard and Bouquet Canyon Road. The event has been going on since 2016, making next year their 10-year anniversary. You'll see old cars and new ones, as well as people of
With the significant growth of digital usage across the country, libraries are turning the pages towards innovation. The library is evolving and adopting new ways in which to reach out to the community they serve.
So put this right here. We're always hosting workshops and learning opportunities and author talks and all kinds of really fun activities for the community to be able to do. And it's all free. People seem to always forget that every library service that we offer is free.
Public libraries are using innovation and technology to guide generations towards learning and discovery.
More than just a bookmobile, it is a mobile library. Think of it as a library branch on wheels. So we got, of course, our amazing book checkout, but we also have so much more, including these fun robots that kids can come and learn to play with. They're controlled with an iPad. They're called Dash and Dot robots, and they're really fun to be able to explore and play with and kind of build some of those skills. Up here you can see storage for our iPads, our robots, our laptops, and some more tech and equipment that we have here.
Educators are encouraged to reach out.
To all of our teachers and those looking to bring resources to your parts of the community, you can go online to the library's website to request a stop for the Library Express.
The love of books is multi-generational.
But when you read a book, you find out about a different world. You put yourself into another atmosphere. And you don't want to, if it's that good, you don't want to put it down.
Public libraries are going to continue to think of out-of-the-box ideas to get more of these into the hands of the community. I'm Terry Mitchell-Collier reporting for Canyons News.
Santa Clarita's local car scene is on display every Saturday morning, showing off unique cars with unique stories. Here's Joey Gomez with more.
Every Saturday, Santa Clarita car lovers wake up bright and early at 6:30 a.m. to come to Cars and Coffee, a local car meetup at the McDonald's parking lot on the corner of Valencia Boulevard and Bouquet Canyon Road. The event has been going on since 2016, making next year their 10-year anniversary. You'll see old cars and new ones, as well as people of all ages, and even some animals, checking out people's rides. If you notice a line of Corvettes, those belong to the Corvette Club, a group of Corvette owners and lovers who take their rides as far as Monterey Bay to meet other car lovers. Some cars have unique stories and unique designs to them. Showing off their diversity is a part of the fun for car owners and viewers.
The paint job is very unique. You don't see many like this. You'll see them on maybe like lowrider cars these days, but it's actually a panel, which this is the panel here, and then it's a fade job where it's darker around the edges, so it's faded around the edges, and then the highlight, of course, this is actually the person who did it. This is his grandmother's curtain, and they hang the curtain over the paint and make it a little bit taut all the way around, and then spray with a spray gun through the actual cotton curtain, and they get this pattern here.
Since the event has been going on as long as it has, people have made connections, and not everyone here has a fancy car. Some people come just to look at these beauties, or even just to talk to some of the folks there.
They're friendly and they know their stuff. They know how to work on cars, and they give you good life advice because they're on the older generation.
For Canyons News, I'm Joey Gomez.
A Santa Clarita-based indie film has long been in the making. Coming to select SCV theaters and Amazon Prime, Jessica Makashima brings us to the set of the film Mosaic.
Take one, roll one.
Action!
So I was born and raised in Castaic. I started really, really young. I started working with my dad, who owns a motorcycle training school, and I would do little promotional videos for him. I would edit these crappy little things on iMovie. I got to work on a screenplay that was entered in Sundance, and just from there, I've really just blossomed and figured out that directing is my forte.
Coming to select theaters and Amazon Prime, Mosaic is an independent film project that has been crafted by nearly an entirely Santa Clarita native cast, all of whom fit the film's narrative.
Mosaic, honestly, is a mosaic of me. You know, it's crafted from various stories of my childhood, various stories of, like, my family, my parents. There's elements in the script of things that I've said, things that, you know, my best friends have said. Santa Clarita really is the essence of the film. It's where majority of it takes place because it's where I come from.
But, of course, nothing comes easy.
This way, so you want to be over here?
Every challenge that you can possibly think of that a filmmaker would have to deal with, we've dealt with. The script was written before COVID, and I had initially planned on making it before COVID, and then that happened.
However, the show must still go on.
Once I actually met one of the actors, I was like, oh my God, I can do this again.
In between takes, it's just laughs. It's a sense of community, really.
And on it went.
It's the coolest experience for me, being able to see the story that I had in my brain go from brain to paper to screen to just like having everybody see what I see. It's like, it sounds cliche, but it's magic.
For Canyons News, this is Jessica Makashima.
Not only does Newhall offer trendy restaurants and fantastic hiking trails, it also offers the heart and soul of cinema. Reporter Victoria Suarez has more.
A local tradition is bringing the golden age of Hollywood back to life. The New Hollywood Silent Film Festival returns to Newhall for its 5th year, offering 3 days of classic silent films at the Newhall Family Theater and the Main on Main Street. The festival embraces the hushed and the historic, screening everything from The Phantom of the Opera to West of Zanzibar for classic movie lovers. The Silent Film Festival has been offering these nostalgic screenings for 5 consecutive years and plans to continue celebrating the art of silent cinema for many more to come.
Silent film is so important, not just to the history of film, but to the history of Santa Clarita and to the history of Southern California. There basically wouldn't be an LA as it currently exists without that silent film era.
Now currently at the Family Theater and the Main, co-founder E.J. Stevens envisions expanding to a larger venue in the future.
When the city takes over Hart Park, that's going to be our hub for the film festival. You know, we have the Hart Hall and we have everything there. That will give us some more options as far as, you know, lectures and book signings and you know, having props on hand, that type of thing.
He sees Hart Park as the perfect location, giving silent film legend William S. Hart's legacy and his deep ties to the early days of cinema. With its museums, petting zoo, and rich historical backdrop, Hart Park could be the ideal setting to celebrate both the city's history and the timeless art of silent film. For Canyons News, I'm Victoria Suarez.
The final round of the U.S. Open qualifiers was held here in Santa Clarita. Reporter Jack Titer brings us to the course.
The Valencia Country Club was home to the final qualifier for the U.S. Open. Known as the longest day in golf, 84 golfers played 36 holes in one day.
A grind is a perfect word. It's 36 holes. It's a long day. We're out here probably for, 10, 12 hours. So,
with only 4 winners moving on to the U.S. Open. One of those winners, Zachary Polo, placed 3rd overall, shooting 6 under par.
I didn't need to go low in the second round. I knew I just needed to stay around par, but I also wanted to make sure I wasn't protecting, so just wanted to keep doing what I was doing, and it worked out. So,
but for Joey Herrera, 36 holes wouldn't be enough. Herrera finished tied for 4th and needed a playoff round to decide the final spot.
Try to hit good golf shots. Whatever happens, happens, but I'm just going to try and go through my routine and try and feel like it's a normal, another normal round of golf.
After sinking this putt, the playoff ended in a tie, which meant Herrera had to return the next day for another round, which he won. Over 12 hours of golf later, 80 golfers go home and 4 move on for an opportunity of a lifetime. For Canyons News, I'm Jack Titer.
The Cube has been holding hockey tournaments in the spring for years, but this year it was their biggest tournament to date. Many youth hockey teams from all over California had traveled to Santa Clarita to play in the Spring Hockey Cup. Canyons News reporter Christian Sukic takes us to ice level.
Late last month, young hockey players as young as 8 years old laced up their skates and competed in the Spring Hockey Cup tournament at the Cube. The Cube, hosting its largest tournament to date, welcomed 47 squads across 5 age brackets from all over the state of California to play for a trophy and a championship banner. All teams faced off on NHL, Olympic, and pond-sized ice sheets, with proud parents and siblings in the stands.
Since it's local, it makes it very convenient for us here. And there's a lot of Flyers teams together in different divisions, so it makes it a lot of fun.
But even as competitive as the tournament has become, not only are the kids having fun playing the game, but they are having fun growing the game. While hockey may not be the most popular sport in California, tournaments like the Spring Hockey Cup are being seen as big opportunities for aspiring players.
It's fun because we get to play new teams that we haven't played, and like every day there's different games to watch.
Well, tournaments in California are a big deal. We obviously don't have the same hockey community as some of the states back east or in the Midwest, but hockey's definitely growing in California, and it's getting bigger every year, and tournaments like this help. We've hosted tournaments in the past. We've had Labor Day and Memorial tournaments in the past, but we wanted to rebrand our Memorial tournament this year and make it the Spring Hockey Cup, and all the teams will get a cup if they win, and it really makes it something special and a little bit different.
From the Cube in Santa Clarita for Canyons News, I'm Christian Sukic.
Among other sports, COC's play-by-play announcer Matt Robinson knows his fair share of hockey. Reporter Luke Harris caught up with the voice of Cougar Sports for a conversation.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with a voice you may recognize. The voice of Canyon Sports and the voice of the multimedia coordinator, Matt Robinson. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm pretty good. Overall, first question, can you give me a little bit of a background check on more about Matt Robinson?
Oh, in terms of just me personally, I mean, I guess, I started here as a Cougar News student and was actually kind of just chance to come here. I was working at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which we were just talking about before this, and actually met Bob Miller and Nick Nixon, who are the LA Kings play-by-play guys, and I always liked hockey, so I decided to try and get into doing play-by-play, and wound up finding the program here, found Dave, and Dave then challenged me to learn how to do all sorts of other stuff, and that's kind of where we've led to now. And as I've gotten older, we get to work here, and it's nice. I get to see my wife a little bit more. I get to see my daughter a little bit more. We live up in Lancaster with our my wife's 5 horses and our 2 dogs, and we just kind of hang out and chill and have some fun. We're both COC alums, so it's nice to be back here and help out a place that helped us out so much.
Sounds awesome overall. Do you enjoy what you do?
Oh yeah, it's a blast. I mean, how can it not be? You get to call games. You get to, I get to edit, which is actually what I got started at ABC7 in. That's, I'd worked at ABC7 for a while. I still do freelance there on occasion. I got into editing, and so now with this new position as a multimedia coordinator, half my job is doing our live streams on the Cougar Sports Network, which we do around 80 of them a year. Every sport. We added tennis this year for the first time. The only things we don't hit are track and field, cross country, and swim and dive, because we just haven't figured out a way to logistically handle those yet. But when I'm not doing that, I'm working on all sorts of multimedia projects, mostly editing and voiceovers. I get to use a little bit of the camera work as well. Right now we're working on something pretty cool for graduation coming up on the 6th. We have a nice little piece that we're working on. We're going to have that ready to go for graduation day on the 6th. So, but we do commercials and any sort of promotional stuff. We've been doing some stuff on YouTube, Canyon Shorts. So it's a blast. I mean, you get to do what you like. It's not work.
For someone who wants to do this for a living, what are 3 things, like 3 pieces of advice you would give them?
In terms of just media in general, or are you looking more for play-by-play stuff?
Play-by-play.
Play-by-play? Well, the first thing is you just need reps. Like, you just need to find a way to get reps, right? It's a hard industry. There's very limited jobs. It's, not one that you're just going to walk right into and get reps. So you need to find a way to get reps yourself. A lot of that is, hustle and grind, trying to find teams that maybe need somebody or looking for somebody. Sometimes it's just doing things on your phone at home while you're watching a game. That's actually how, I got lucky. Like I said, I met Bob Miller and Nick Nixon, both Hall of Famers. They kind of gave me some ideas and some advice, but I got lucky that I knew the hockey manager here when the hockey team was still going on, and I had played for the team, and they were actually looking to start a live stream. So that's how I actually got my first reps, was doing hockey. I'd never done a game before in my life, and just did a couple of games. I was nervous as could be, but I had a blast. So you have to find reps. That's the hardest thing. You have to be willing to talk. And in terms of play-by-play, it's not necessarily having an opinion, but it's being able to articulate what's happening in front of you on the field of play or on the rink, wherever the case may be, and being able to voice things that are happening so people at home that maybe aren't watching the game directly still can understand what's happening. So you have to be willing to talk. That's a big part. You can't just be quiet. And then it's just, like I said, it's kind of a grind. You have to be willing to take, crummy jobs for not a lot of money and just work your way up and not get discouraged. There's always going to be people that are, they don't like what you're doing, and there's going to be people that do like what you're doing. It's just the nature of the business. It doesn't matter what you do in media. That's what it's going to be. So, you have to, like I said, you have to grind. You have to kind of just find your way and work hard for reps and create ways to get reps. One of the ways I did that was learning how to do all this other stuff, learning how to put together a live stream with, whether it's just through OBS Studio on your laptop, or now I have an A10 Mini with a Hyperdeck shuttle, and I do all sorts of other extra stuff through Companion and try and bounce things around. So you have to create a way for yourself to get those reps, and the more things the more knowledge you have, the easier chance you have of getting that type of stuff.
Well, that's a great answer right there. Well, that's about as much time as we have, so thank you so much for being here today, Matt, and back to you guys.
In honor of Memorial Day, runners took to the trails. Here's Sophia Mistretta with more on what fueled them.
With over 15 marathons hosted in Santa Clarita each year, Forever Braves Marathon had over 100 runners participate in honor of Memorial Day. This is a 3, 6, and 9-mile course that lines the hiking trails of West Creek Park in Valencia. From 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., participants are completing one or more of these courses.
I've done a lot of 5Ks, so no, couldn't even count how many, I don't know, under 10 though. Me and my friend here have done a couple half marathons over the year and a half, a couple 10Ks. Yeah, I've only been into running for about a year and a half now. I did a run with my company last January, and I just fell in love with the feeling when I get done.
With the initial start time being the same for everyone, no matter the length of the race you decide to run, this allows families to sit and enjoy watching the runners, but naturally also brings attention to those who need a sign that their friends and family are watching.
I actually work at the Kern High School District, and I coach cross country and track. And so since it's kind of like the end of the track season, I had one of my runners, he didn't make it onto the Valley meet. So I told him hey, come out, run a fun 10K, just to have a little benchmark before going into the cross season, which is in about a week or two where we're gonna start training. During college, COVID hit, so I had another year, and then I had a redshirt year because of I had heart surgery. So I wound up having 6 years, so I'm one of the few college athletes that got 6 years.
After participants have finished, food and snacks are dispersed, along with shiny medals to encapsulate the gratification of finishing their race. I'm Sophia Mistretta with Canyons News.
That does it for this edition of Canyons News. I'm Julianne Lena, Remember, you can catch us on the web at canyonsnews.com.
And I'm Dakota Searcy. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, canyonsnews_COC, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody.